Talamore Golf Club, and just being outdoors, I'm sure you're getting itchy to go out and play some golf. What are some of the things they should be thinking about?
Yep. Well, we can do some stretching exercises right off the bat. The driver, I like to tell the students to take the driving range as the practicing for the golf.
Hi everybody, welcome to Inside Golf. Along with Ellen Cologe, I'm Harry Donahue. Today we're at Talamore Golf Club, and just being outdoors, I'm sure you're getting itchy to go out and play some golf.
I know I am. I'm ready to get out on the links, and I'll tell you what though, a lot of us have been cooped up all winter, and we are ready to get that rust off and get some great tips on how to improve our game for the upcoming season.
And the man who's going to give us the best tips is Lou Guzzi. He was the best instructor in Philadelphia last year, and we've come to Talamore to go inside Lou's little laboratory to find out how we can best prepare for the 2012 golf season. Lou Guzzi coming up next on Inside Golf.
Inside Golf is brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery, by Nike Golf, and by the Philadelphia Section PGA.
To the duffers, the hacks, we've been there.
To the 3 and 4 putters, we learned.
And to the rough riders and sandmen, we're ready to teach you.
To everybody out there who thinks they can't play the game, the over 28,000 PGA golf professionals say, we're here to help you discover or rediscover the joys of golf. To you, and you, and you, we're here.
The Philadelphia Section PGA is here to teach you. Play golf, Delaware Valley.
Nike Golf, in partnership with the Philadelphia Section PGA, present Better Golf.
Welcome back to Inside Golf, and we are sort of in the laboratory of Lou Guzzi at Talamore. Lou is the Teacher of the Year, and Lou, you're going to help us get straightened out for the upcoming golf season, huh?
Why not? It's 2012, Harry. It's cold out today, but we're dressed warm. I've got on the right clothes. We're ready to go.
Ready to go. You know, Lou, we were just talking a little bit before we came back about people's expectations as a golfer. Right. You know, we're not professional golfers. We go out there, we're 18, 20, 25 handicappers, and yet we hit a bad shot and we say, I've never done that before. And if you ask somebody, what's your handicap? Well, I'm an 18. Chances are they've done that a lot before. Yep. What is it about golf that people's expectations, unlike basketball or baseball, they think they should be as good as the guys they see on TV?
That's right. The problem, how hard are we going to work at this? We've got to understand what to do. We've got to take this golf club, which is a tool in our hands, and basically make it go exactly where we want it to go. The tour players don't guess. They know their swing. They work hard. It's a motor skill, folks. We hear a lot of times, Harry, muscle memory. Well, believe me, it's a motor skill that we train in. And then in the end, it looks natural. Basically, we're trying to make it look smooth through a lot of hard work.
And believe me, the older you get, those muscles, they forget an awful lot.
Yeah, don't they though? I'm 50 now, so I hear you.
Well, I'm on the plus side of that. Now, here we are, March is here. Most people probably haven't touched a club, if they've not gone away or something like that, for maybe 4 or 5 months. Yeah. What are some things that you like to tell your pupils that they can do before they go out and even play around the golf? What are some of the things they should be thinking about? Yep.
Well, we can do some stretching exercises. Right off the bat, the driver's the longest club in the bag, and we can use that. But I found this really, really neat pole at a thrift shop. And it's obviously an exercise pole, but as soon as I saw it, folks, I'm like, this is perfect for golf. So we can actually work in 2 different ways here. We're going to work on stretching, and we're also going to work on our golf swing and maintaining our angles. So Tom Watson, the great Tom Watson, talked about the secret of the swing. In 1994, he said he found out the secret of the swing, and it was spine angle and maintaining your posture. So basically, we can start out just with a little bit of knee flex and just slowly rotate back and forth and keeping the bar or your driver level with the ground. Everybody kind of grabs this and goes fast.
So go easy with it.
Yeah, go easy and go slow. And this is something that we should be doing all the time, not just in the wintertime.
Now, I noticed you took it back basically 90 degrees.
Correct.
And then 90 degrees this way. Is that far enough?
Well, here's the thing. Some people are not going to be able to take it back 90 degrees. Okay. And on the flexibility side going through, we can stretch out even more than 90 because in the backswing, we're creating resistance. So once we're going back, we have our feet on the ground and our left knee kicks in. But on the forward side of the swing, We're releasing over to the left leg for our right-handed golfers. So that gives us the ability to slowly stretch and even move further through, because it's not the same as the backswing as far as the footwork's concerned. And go slow, folks. Go slow.
Yeah, take it easy. You know, the other thing, if people do play during the winter in these parts, obviously the temperature is going to affect ball flight, and people will get frustrated and say, gee, I used to be able to hit my 7-iron 150 yards.
Yeah.
It's only gone 130 yards.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Mother Nature is impacting the distance.
That's right. Well, we just warmed up for this tip.
Right.
And I was working with the driver. Should have stretched more, but here we are. Apologize for that. Working with the driver, how far was I hitting the ball carry?
You were probably carrying about maybe 220, 215?
215, 220 carry. It's probably 40 degrees out. The golf balls, the range balls are not going to go as far anyway. So I think what happens, if we don't know that, going to the range and working, and of course warming up as well, you're going to try to force your swing, get the yardage that you're normally used to getting in the summertime, and really it's not going to be a very productive session.
Do you think most golfers, this goes back to what I said at the opening, are tougher on themselves than they need to be when it comes to performance and their expectations?
Yeah, and you know, I tell all my students, look, it depends on how much work you put into this. So one of the things that we can do at home is mirror work. And how do you work in front of a mirror? Understanding the positions, looking at the club face, watching where your arms and hands go. I call it club face and shaft awareness. So when we're working in the mirror, we can work on keeping our head steady. If we work with the bar or the driver, and I'm going to use the driver now, going back to Watson's secret, and then these expectations obviously going up, is when I'm looking in the mirror, wherever I go here, as I'm rotating through the shot, I have to maintain this angle. So the shaft angle back and through, once we're in posture, this would be 3/4 of the way through the swing. We have to make sure we hold that angle. The problem is most people that play golf come in and then they come up out of the shot because they're anxious to see the shot, Harry.
They want to see it.
They want to see it.
And the same holds true in putting, too.
That's right.
And a lot of things on the putting green, I mean, you can do a lot in your own home this time of the year that you can, you know, basically transfer out to the course. But, you know, looking in a mirror, like you say, in your living room or wherever you are, just to see, am I swaying? Because a lot of times people will sway and don't know it. Somebody will say, you know, you really moved on that putt.
Yep.
And that's something you can practice in front of a mirror to see exactly what's going on that you may not be aware of.
That's right. And it's tough because, you know, you'll see some tour players move their head, but it's the way they move their head. And we're not tour players. We don't have the time to practice the way tour players do. So my best suggestion to every student, and the greatest players in the world kept their head steady anyway, don't move your head until the putter has completely stopped through the stroke. So one of the reasons we move our head is we're anxious to see where the ball's going. We're anxious to see if we did what we wanted to do with the putt. Folks, visualize the putt in your mind. See the putt rolling in your mind. When you go to putt, you have to look down at the ball. It's not like basketball or other sports where you get the opportunity to look at the target that we're going to send the ball to. All of a sudden in golf, we're not looking at the target anymore. Keep that memory in your mind, make your stroke off of that memory, and do not move your head, Harry.
Any other tips for people to get ready for the upcoming golf season? We've talked about the psychology of not being too hard on yourself, certain stretching exercises. What else can you recommend to people to get ready for the golf season?
The best thing would be to not stop during the winter. Grab a club and just at least 20 minutes a day, just swing. One of the training aids that we use here at the center, which is absolutely terrific, is a swing guide.
This guy has every contraption in the world. What is this going to do for me?
So now here's the deal with this one. So number one, if it's put on properly, and I put this on properly for students, it's going to give them a really good, solid, fundamental grip. Now, when we use this product, and again, we could be using the mirror. I'm going to use the camera right now for the mirror. I get to see the positions that I'm looking for, and you'll see that this little guy just sits right in your forearm.
So that's right nestled up on your arm.
That's right. Now, on the other side of the swing,
I better get out of the way here.
We're releasing and bringing it back in right on the left arm. So now I'm looking in the mirror, point A, point B, and folks, you'll see there's kind of an L-shaped look to the swing at this portion. And you'll see some of the greatest players in the world using this training aid on the range right before a tournament.
Just make sure your ceiling is high enough, right?
You got
Low
it.
on that follow-through.
That's
All
right.
right, we'll be back. More from the laboratory of Lou Guzzi at Talamore as Inside Golf continues.
If 5 friends are having a light beer and they all put their drinks down in the same place, how long will it take to find the Yingling Light Lager? About that long, because the rich amber color of Yingling Light Lager makes it stand out from the rest. The true lager flavor, however, makes it disappear. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager, from America's oldest brewery. Rethink your light beer.
Welcome back. We're in the lab with Dr. Guzzi. Lou Guzzi here at Talamore, getting us ready for the 2012 golf season. Lou, suppose this was the first time I met you. I show up here at Talamore, come into the laboratory and say, all right, Dr. Guzzi, you're going to teach me how to be a better golfer. What's the first thing you're going to look for me?
Well, what we're going to do, Harry, is we're going to go into the office, sit down. First of all, will you be nervous during this lesson? It's your first lesson. We really don't know each other yet. So I want to find out a lot about my student. We'll sit down. I've got coffee, cappuccino, some other goodies, some water, and we'll sit and talk for about 5 minutes. I'm trying to get to know you, find out what your goals are, find out how long you've been playing golf. Have you ever had a lesson before? Have you ever been videotaped? Have you seen your swing? And then from there, we try to just get nice and relaxed, and then, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out. I want you to hit some golf shots. If you're not warmed up, I want you to warm up. I'm just going to watch. I might move around with the camera, and I'm looking to get 4 swings. 2 swings face on, and 2 swings will be down the line, where we're going to be looking downrange, and then we're going to go back into the office after we get those 4 swings. Short iron, full driver, and we're going to look at the swing. Then from there, I'm probably going to ask you a lot of questions and try to find out what you know about the golf swing, what your understanding is from your experience. Then before that time, then I'll start to talk to you about what I think we need to do.
Is it true to you that no 2 golf swings are alike?
Yeah, I think the tour players all have certain fundamentals that they do that you'll see, especially towards the bottom of the swing. So there's a lot of personality that goes into a swing. I think one of the things that we need to do as teachers with our students is understand the personality. So a student that might be warming up on the range, if I'm in another lesson, I might watch the way they come into the building. Are they quick? Do they move fast? Are they slow? What do they do before they come into the building? That's going to give me a lot of information on probably how they're going to swing the club and how they're going to approach the game.
Yeah, that's a great point, because some people talk fast, they move fast, they swing fast.
Yeah.
And maybe it works for them. Other people,
Yep.
you got to take whatever they bring to the table.
And that's okay, because speed, for a certain personality, they come in here and they say, hey, I'm going to swing like Freddie Couples. That's not their personality, and that would actually be destructive to their swing.
The other thing, we're bombarded, golfers are, I think, more than any other sport, with how-to instruction, be it on television, be it in magazines. It seems like everybody is offering advice. And, you hear people say, for instance, a small point, timing the release. Some people say you don't have to release the club at all.
That's right.
And yet, when you look at them, and you talked to me about this before we got started here, sometimes it's not necessarily what they say, it's what they do, and they may be 2 different things.
And the truth here is we're all students. Even us golf instructors, we're students as well, and we're always learning, trying to be obviously better teachers, but also better players too. What I always did, was I would listen and pay attention to the information that was being provided to me, whether it was in a lesson, out of a book, on TV, and then I would go back, and if somebody was writing a book and they said, this is what I do, I want to see what they do. So then I go back, try to capture some video, and from there, watch their action. And then what I noticed over the years was all the great players, no matter how they described the swing, did certain things, all of them. And that release is one of them, Harry.
We hear so much about swing instructors. You've met them, I've met them. Is there one guy that had more of an impact on you as a teacher than anybody else?
Well, my first lesson was a gentleman named Jerry Pisano, and he won the Pennsylvania Open. And Jerry was a great player, a little Italian guy that hit it a long way, used his hands a lot, got a lot of information from him. Gary Harden up at Northampton Country Club, awesome. A lot of information from Gary. David Ledbetter, I use a lot of his stuff as well. Bob Toski, Mike Malaska. Mike Malaska is the National PGA Teacher of the Year now. These are wonderful teachers that provide an incredible amount of information.
And a lot of those guys had to deal without the advantages that you have here, all the high-tech stuff, the cameras, the launch monitors, and things like that. What was their secret to it? I mean, they could just look at somebody and evaluate their swing and say, here's what you're doing wrong, here's what you're doing right.
A great trained eye. One of the advantages that we do have with the technology, as long as it's used properly and it's not a crutch, we can capture the swing, evaluate the swing, or any of the motions, putting, chipping, and we could get to business quicker now. Where in years past, you would have to watch a student swing for maybe 5-10 minutes, look at maybe 10-15 swings to try to make your evaluation of what was going to happen. So now we can watch 1 or 2 swings, watch the video, get right back out, clearly work on the swing, use a lot of our training aids, which we have here, which you'll see, certainly advances the instruction much quicker. And then there's so many other things to talk about besides the golf swing and the putting stroke. It's the mental side and how to play and what to think and what to expect when you play golf.
And exactly like we talked about in the first segment about your expectations. You know, do people too find it where they come out here and they practice on the range with you watching them, they go back and look at themselves on tape with you going over the swing. Then they take it out to the golf course, and maybe the first couple of rounds, everything's fresh in their mind. We talk about muscle memory and all that. But then maybe a month or 6 weeks later, they're getting into bad habits, and maybe under the gun. Do people tend to go back to bad habits when maybe they're faced with a little pressure? Not that everybody's involved in competitive golf, but sooner or later they're going to be out there maybe with something on the line.
Yep. I like to tell the students to take the driving range as they're practicing to the golf course, and to take the golf course to the driving range, and just try to blend the two together so that they have a comfort zone. Some of my tournament players will visualize actually being in the building, hitting golf shots out during a tournament because it's comfortable. They're familiar with that. They work hard in here. So when they're on the golf course, the whole building shifts based on where they want to start their golf ball. And then they go ahead and they swing. They feel comfortable, and then that golf shot goes right down the middle.
Do you prefer working with real young kids or old guys like myself?
I love everybody. You know what?
What's the ideal student when it comes to a golf lesson?
Everybody, it's great. Obviously, the younger the student, the longer the relationship, certainly. But if you want to come into the building, if you want to learn, this information, I don't care if you're 85, 90 years old, I'll talk to you about the golf swing, because I think the golf swing and the game of golf is just it's an unbelievable experience. It's been a journey for me for 33 years, and I still love it like the first day I played.
So you're never too old to learn something new about the game of golf.
Yeah, I'll come home after 12 hours of instruction, go home and put on the golf channel, and my wife thinks I'm out of my mind. Love it, absolutely love it.
Guy can't get enough of it.
And we did that too. You saw that when Harry was in here earlier, and we were just talking about different things. I mean, right away, we just started to talk about golf, and the release, and the books came out. And next thing you know, here we are, we're actually in a little mini lesson.
Right. And where's technology going to take us? Where's it going to be? Forget about where we've come in the last 5. Where are we going the next 5 when it comes to technology?
You know what? Boy, I don't know. I mean, Doppler radar right now with our launch monitor, giving us the ability to see
And we thought that was
ball.
Only for weather.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's incredible. The golf ball's flying in the air. We know the exact yardage. We can see the shape of the shot. We can see the pattern up and down, work on flight. I mean, it's unbelievable. Clubs being tracked during the course of the swing. I think at the same time, though, we've got to make sure that we don't lose feel for the game, for playing. The numbers are wonderful, but they're just a very, very small part of what makes a great player.
Lou Guzzi, we're in the laboratory here at Talamore. Doesn't get any better than that. Lou, you've got a little Irish in you, right?
I do, a little bit, yes.
Well, coming up, we're going to be talking about St. Patrick's Day and how they celebrate in Newtown when we gather with Bob Lutz and our teed-off panel at the Green Parrot. Coming up next, here on Inside Golf.
To the duffers, the hacks, we've been there.
To the 3 and 4 putters, we learn.
And to the rough riders and sandmen, we're ready to teach you.
To everybody out there who thinks they can't play the game, the over 28,000 PGA golf professionals say, we're here to help you discover or rediscover the joys of golf. To you, and you, and you, we're here.
The Philadelphia Section PGA is here to teach you. Play golf, Delaware Valley.
Guests of Inside Golf enjoy dining at Sin Sin, the popular Asian fusion restaurant located on Germantown Avenue in the heart of scenic Chestnut Hill.
And now it's time for Teed Off, brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery.
Years ago in Clearwater, Florida.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues with Teed Off, and today we're in beautiful Newtown, Bucks County at the Green Parrot restaurant and pub right on Sycamore Street in the heart of Newtown. And our panel today includes the owner-operator of the Green Parrot, Bob Lutz. Thanks for having us, Bob. Steve Javi, for 25 years, the #1 official in the NBA. He's a Newtown resident, great amateur golfer. And Tony Leodora. Tony is the host of the #1 radio show in America, golf-related. That would be Golf Talk Live, WNTP, on Saturday mornings. Guys, St. Patrick's Day right around the corner. And for some, it's the real March Madness, even though it may only be one day. And Bob, this time of the year is great to get out and play golf because the weather's getting better. And what's your favorite activity for wearing of the green, St. Patrick's Day?
We have a fantastic event, two-day event in Newtown called the Newtown Irish Festival, and we'll close the street out for 2 consecutive days, have live music, Irish dancers, authentic Irish food, and it goes for 2 days, and it's just a wonderful event.
So the Green Parrot is really hopping on St. Patrick's Day and the next day.
Especially because you have all the tents and all the NCAA games going on as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tony, what's your favorite wearing of the green activity?
I was going to mention that the fact that you have the NCAA tournament going on, it's the first weekend of it usually with the St. Patrick's Day.
Days of sports, I think.
It just goes absolutely great. Yeah, there's no question about it. Although there was one St. Patrick's Day that stands out all above the rest for me, and that was
Do we have to hear this?
years ago in Clearwater, Florida, when Mr. Tug McGraw decided to wear a green uniform that he dyed, ran out of the bullpen, wore that, and that night he and I went to, hate to say another competitor, but the opening of the first Hooters.
Down in Clearwater?
In Clearwater.
I think that's where Dutch Dalton met his wife.
It was, but not
that's
that
a whole
night.
Nother story.
Yeah, right. Not that night. Don't ask me about the day after that.
All right, Steve Javi, your favorite St. Patrick's Day activity?
I like to try to be Irish. I'm 100% Polish. I actually have a funny story. My mother, growing up, was such a proud Polish woman, and the colors of the Polish flag are red and white. She would send us to school with red on. And everybody would look at us like we're crazy.
Right.
Obviously, I have graduated since, married an Irish lady, Mary Ellen Kennedy, and spend Irish, food and festivities with her and her family. So we have a great time.
That's your ticket to the club, huh?
And then coming in here and watching all the games, as Bobby says, they have wonderful TV sets here. I mean, all over the place. March Madness is great in here. So it's a wonderful place you have, Bob.
Right.
It really is.
Thank you.
Well, and it's not too far away from the first of 4 rounds of Augusta. I know you have a lot of things going on here for golfers to come in and catch the activities for the Masters.
We're also going to do something with Yingling as well. If you golf anywhere and bring your scorecard in after the round, we're going to give you Yingling lager specials throughout the day.
Wow.
So,
Tony, we're here, Tony. Come on, Tony.
Even Tony, so when he comes back from his trips to Florida and Arizona.
Bring your scorecard in.
Just bring any
and your
scorecard.
foursome.
Wow.
So that's going to be a wonderful thing.
I know where you're going to be on St. Patrick's Day. Right here at the Green Parrot.
That's right. I wouldn't miss it for anything.
That's right.
It's going to be a great time. I certainly will be. Except we've been here for an hour already. I haven't seen a stinking parrot in the place yet. Where is this parrot? We going to get to see him or what?
Okay. We'll see what I can do.
All right.
We're going to go right now to the bar here at the Green Parrot, where Ellen Koloje is standing by with somebody who has a question, I understand, for our entire panel.
Thank you, Harry. We're here with Katie. She's a bartender here at the Green Parrot, so you can come out and meet her. Katie, what is your question for the panel?
Guys, what is your favorite major golf event?
Well, let's start with our host, Bob Lutz. Bob, what's your favorite major golf event?
Without a doubt, Augusta. I mean, I had the pleasure of going there 3 times. It's just immaculate. It's just a wonderful thing. U.S. Open is also very good, having went to Wingfoot, Shinnecock, and also Pebble Beach and played all 3 of them as well. So, I mean, either one, I mean, they're just fantastic venues and fantastic events.
Yeah. Tony?
My favorite major experience is Augusta and the Masters, no question about it. But my favorite event is the U.S. Open because I like to see these guys bleed from the ears on some of these courses that are so hard that I enjoy that.
The imagery is overwhelming.
Right. A little trickle coming out of the ear there, as they try to make these putts.
Steve, that's a tough one to follow.
I don't know if I can follow, but I want to be in Bobby's foursome. He's played all these courses, Tony, and I want to go with Bobby wherever he goes to play them.
Absolutely.
But I would have to say, I agree with Bobby. My favorite is the Masters. I've never had the privilege of being there because I've been working all the time. So I'm hoping that if they see me this time, I'm not working, I'm retired now. So if anybody has any extra tickets, Tony, to the Masters this year, I'm available.
Oh, I'm sure they'll come pouring in.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and you can go with Tony. You can be his driver.
I'll be his driver. I'll do anything.
That's right.
Hey, we want to thank Bob Lutz for having us here at the Green Parrot in beautiful Newtown. We'll be back. Inside Golf continues in just a moment.
Bedtime Parrot, I heard him.
Looking for a comfortable dining and get-together spot in historic Bucks County? Welcome to the Green Parrot Restaurant and Pub in Newtown. The kitchen features wood-burning stoves, specials for lunch and dinner daily, a wine list that features more than 60 offerings, and there are 24 different draft beers. All this in one very unique place, the Green Parrot on Sycamore in beautiful Newtown.
It's time light beer got some character. 99 calories, 100% authentic lager. Yingling Light Lager from America's oldest brewery. Rethink your light beer.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. We're here at the Ultimate Golf Performance Tullamore Teaching Center. And look at Lou Guzzi. Here he is. He's coming in. Hold it, Lou. Hold it. I don't want to get in the way, but I know this is just some more fuel to keep the laboratory nice and warm here in March. Huh?
I loaded the whole thing. I loaded all this wood.
I was going to say, she helps out with everything, doesn't she?
That's right. Well, we're going to back it up, we're going to drop it, and I'm going to stack it, and we're going to keep the building warm. The laboratory is going to be hot.
Because we're going to be back here next week with one of your prized pupils.
Yes, Isabella D'Alessio. It's going to be awesome. You're going to see a beautiful golf swing, and we're going to talk about how this all came about.
Okay, now you're just going to maneuver us around, and then Ellen's going to dump all the wood and get everything ready.
You need a pair of gloves. You ready?
We want to thank Lou for getting us ready for the golf season. For Ellen Kaloje, I'm Harry Donahue. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up unless it's a piece of wood to throw on the fire. We'll see you next time on Inside Golf. You two get to work, will you?
Inside Golf has been brought to you by Yingling, America's oldest brewery, by Nike Golf, and by the Philadelphia Section PGA.